Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's episode is dedicated to Alluvian Est-Endrati, whose generous support continues to help make this series possible. Thanks, Alluvian. That said, let's get started. I had hoped the madman in the ruins might offer us answers, but he had not taken kindly to our intrusions. The end result was an ill-conceived confrontation that only my men walked away from. While Alistair did collect the dead man's notes, they were just as rambling and disjointed as his prophecies had been in life. Still, it was better than nothing. It would take time to decipher those cryptic scrawlings, but as always, there were other things that demanded my attention. With no cure in sight, strange diseases were still running rampant through the hamlet. The latest victim was Lazan, the bloodletting flagellant who now had a literal lust for blood. I suppose there was some absurd humor in that, but of course, no one was laughing. There was little I could do to help with the matter, so I left it to my more learned recruits, whilst I instead turned my attention to more mundane concerns. As seemed to be the continuing trend, a new batch of prospective recruits had recently arrived. While most did not linger in the hamlet for long, one of their number, a bounty hunter named Wojtek the Bear, volunteered to stay on in my service. He made no secret of his ulterior motive. He was tracking a notorious bandit with a hefty bounty on his head, and the trail had led him here. I appreciated his candor, and we signed a tentative agreement to work together for as long as our goals were in alignment. Though I did find myself wondering if all bounty hunters adopted the names of predatory animals. Once the contract had been signed, Rowan escorted our newest recruit to the sanitarium. It had become increasingly apparent over the past few months that we needed to be quite certain that all of our new recruits were both mentally and physically prepared before we sent them out to fight the nightmarish creatures that were infesting the estate. Although risky, each successful expedition took back a small piece of my family estate, and my latest target was the filth-encrusted Warrens. While they had proven to be a rich source of both gold and relics, we had yet to discover the source of those monstrous porcine brutes that inhabited those old tunnels. I began work on assembling a proper scouting party, but few of the recruits seemed eager to delve into that twisted labyrinth. Gwydden and Ronwyn fearlessly volunteered, but while they were more than capable of slaying any beast they might encounter, they were ill-suited to the task of mapping. After a bit of cajoling, Demetre agreed to accompany them, which in turn seemed to convince Carol to join them as well. While they were better suited to exploring the arboreal gloom of the Weald, they quickly took to the idea of their assigned task. Before long, they were practically giddy at the prospect of working together once more, freely exchanging friendly banter and a poorly hidden flask. I hoped that their newfound camaraderie would serve them well in this horrid place, but at the same time, I had to wonder, how could such fragile bonds ever survive against the horrors they were about to face?
To prosecute our war against the swine, we must first scout their squalid homes.
And welcome back. We've got a pretty ambitious adventure ahead of us today. Scouting is one of the easier quest objectives, but this is a large and sprawling map. Plus, we'll be starting off with a pretty tough monster fight, but we'll get to that in a moment. First, let's take a quick look at our heroes. Ronwyn. Demetre Faden. Gwydden. Carol von Gruenig. Alright, let's get moving. Now, right off the bat, you'll notice that Ronwyn is starting off with a pretty high stress level. That's intentional, because I'm planning to set up camp pretty quickly. Oh, hold on. Shoot, okay. We need to take these guys out before Ronwyn soaks up too much stress. And of course, they're going right at her. That's unfortunate.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Unfortunately, we didn't kit this party out with any stress heals, so we just need to hope for crits. Though I would settle for just hitting the enemy. Okay, that's more like it. Gwydon's a tank, so as long as they're targeting her, we should be fine. You have got to be kidding me. Alright, what does this one do? -4 speed. That is pretty awful, but fortunately Gwydon was lightning fast to begin with, so now she's just medium fast. She's also still pretty deadly, but we don't want her to move around too much with this lineup. She'll mostly just be throwing snakes at people. Okay, that takes care of the wretch, but we really need to take out that madman. We're cutting this way too close.
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
Ronwyn, you're killing me here.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Alright, we're fine now, but Ronwyn, you really need to get it together.
Back to the pit. Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
Oh, hey, things are looking a bit up. Much like with the strange coral in the coves, we can use those scrolls to automatically remove one of our negative quirks. Let's see if we can get rid of that locked quirk. Well, we got rid of Lazy Eye instead, but that's still pretty good. Now we just have to deal with Ronwyn's stress. Hopefully the next room is clear so we can set up camp. Okay, it looks like we're clear. Like I said before, I came into the dungeon planning on setting up camp pretty quickly. That's because as long as we have Gwydon in the party, we're pretty much guaranteed to trigger a special combat encounter when we rest.
A moment of respite. A chance to steel oneself against the coming horrors.
I knew that would give me an early opportunity to get her stress back under control, but I wasn't expecting her to take 40 stress damage in her first encounter. We don't have a lot of stress healing abilities, but hopefully we can get her back down to a reasonable level. The special shield breaker encounter is pretty tough, so we want to make sure we go into it in good condition. Unfortunately, we have less stress heals than I thought we did. We'll have to take the risk of using Gallows Humor. And of course, it works on everyone except for Ronwyn. The RNG really has it in for me today. That basically forced me to use Rebel, which reduces stress across the entire party, but it also debuffs us. We've still got 5 points to play with, so hopefully I can offset some of those penalties. Not perfect, but it'll have to do. Get some rest, heroes.
The light, the promise of safety. There will be no rest by the fire tonight.
Okay, this is our first encounter with the special shield breaker enemies. They are pretty powerful, but the shield breaker is designed to counter most of their abilities. They're trying to gang up on Demetre. I don't like that.
The ground quakes.
They've set up guard and retaliate, so we'll focus on the one in the middle. Because this is basically a nightmare, Gwydden is suffering massive stress damage every turn. We need to end this as quickly as possible. Come on. They're all attacking Demetre. That's really making me nervous. Oh.
Dazed, reeling, about to break.
Oh no. Okay. Demetre is still bleeding, so we need to heal her immediately. Alright. The Rattler in the middle is already pretty weak, so let's start working on the other one. Nice. The Rattler did 1 damage to us with his counterattack, but we basically killed it in 1 hit. I can live with that. Now we need to finish off that other Rattler, but we can't use Pierce because that would push Rowan out of place.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
There we go.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
Okay, back on death's door. First we need to stop that bleeding. Oh, wait, that was a waste. We want to use toxin trickery anyway. Sorry, I'm a little stressed out at the moment. Hopefully the massive dodge bonus should be enough to keep Demetre safe.
More blood soaks the soil, feeding the evil therein.
I don't even know what to say.
Decimated. Ghoulish horrors, brought low and driven into the mud.
A resurrected grave robber killed by a dream. I can work with that from a narrative standpoint, but I feel pretty bad about this. Poor Demetre. She died so early the first time that she worked her way through the waiting list again, and now I've gotten her killed twice. I mean, I will put her back on the waiting list again, but at this point there are 36 people ahead of her. She will come back to life eventually, but it's going to be a while. Of course, now the problem is, we're barely into this adventure and we're already down a man. Logically, I should probably cut my losses and abort the mission, but I really don't want Demetre's death to be in vain. I know this is a classic example of the sunk cost fallacy, but no one ever accused me of making good decisions. Besides, this does keep things interesting. For better or worse, let's keep moving. Okay, we're up against a pretty tough fight, but we've got surprise. I think we can handle this. We need to pick our moves even more carefully than usual. Since we're down a man, we have to make sure every attack counts.
Eradicated.
So far, so good. Nice. Alright, let's finish off the drummer, just to be on the safe side.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Now I think we need to work on that chopper. He's the next biggest threat. Okay, no healing this turn. That's fine. We're fine. There we go.
The slow death, unforeseen, unforgiving.
Just one more enemy left. I'll tell you, this is a lot more nerve-wracking when I'm trying to keep my viewers alive.
Executed with impunity.
Okay, one fight down. Who knows how many to go?
In Radiance, may we find victory.
Fortunately, that dinner table is pretty much guaranteed to give us food. This is a good chance to heal our party.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Of course, now we'll have to get into another fight before we can actually eat any more food. But one thing at a time. Very nice. It looks like the next few rooms are clear. We might actually be able to pull this off.
Wealth beyond measure, awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike. Ancient traps lie in wait, unsprung and thirsting for blood.
There go the last of our bandages. We'll have to be extra careful from here on out.
A fortune, waiting to be spent.
I was really hoping Scout would trigger. I guess we're headed into the unknown. This is just about the worst thing we could have run into. Actually, I take that back. Let's not tempt fate. Wow, and now Carol is in the worst place possible. Well, at this point, whatever happens, happens. If we're going down, let's at least go down fighting.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive. Fear consumes the mind.
Well, apparently the gatekeeper runs away if I don't kill him fast enough. Good to know.
Obliterated.
Really?
A dizzying blow to body and brain.
And here I was just wondering how things could possibly get worse. Darkest Dungeon never disappoints, does it?
Injury and despondence set the stage for heroism or cowardice. Is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Diminara dead, Gwydden and Ronwyn turned into vampires. If there's any consolation, it's that we know it could always be worse. At least vampires can still eat food. Otherwise, we'd really be in trouble. Huh. Okay, it's been pretty rough so far, but I think we actually can pull this off. Let's clear out that hall fight and scout those 2 empty rooms. Sure, a bloodthirsty vampire. Why not? Okay, this isn't too bad. We still need to be careful, but we should be able to handle this. Let's take out that drummer first. Alright, now we need to get to the chopper. Annoying, but we're fine. The chopper's about to drop dead.
A death by inches. Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
Okay, all things considered, that wasn't too bad. Now if we're lucky, if we're really lucky, we can finish this quest with one more fight. All we have to do is clear these last 4 rooms. I mean, it's not going to be worth the death and the vampirism, but at least we'll be walking away with something. Nice. The last room is empty.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
All we have to do is clear that treasure room and we're home free. Let's just hope we're not up against anything too horrible. We should probably ignore the rack of blades. Here goes nothing. Oh, thank goodness. Don't get me wrong. Spiders can be annoying, but compared to what we could have run into, we definitely got off easy.
Be gone, fiend. Another one falls.
Nice. Let's finish this.
The wounds of war can be healed. but never hidden.
There we go.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Let's grab our loot and get the heck out of here.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
Wait. Wow. I'm a fool. I should have used these before the snake fight. Granted, there's no guarantee it would have made a difference, but it certainly couldn't have hurt. Let's head home, heroes. You've earned it.
The swine folk's labyrinth may yet prove to be navigable.
Demetre killed by a waking nightmare, the rest of the party lost in the twisting tunnels, beset on all sides by beasts and vampires. It does make for a good story, but I still feel bad about getting the same viewer killed twice. Sorry, Demetre. We'll pick up here next time.